okay? Or something happens to her family members, okay? She's even more afflicted, right? Very, very protective of her children, okay? So primarily, we're afflicted because it originates from others, whether it's your dog, okay, or or someone else, okay? So in other words, the reason you're afflicted is because you still in your mind, you still see as you are different from the other person. That's why you need to control the other person. That's why you disapprove of the other person. So far, so good, because you are different from the other person. Whereas, that's right there, is the nature of unenlightened people. So far you can go. You can reason with them all you want. You can tell them, we're the same. We all are Chinese communists. Excuse me. It's an example only, okay? We are all Republicans. Okay? You get my drift, right? I mean, you can say it all you want, okay? However, you can go so far, okay? So that's because deep down in your heart, you don't have this concept called same in substance, okay? Same in substance means that we are the same makeup. We're part of the same organism, a bigger organism, okay? We're the same. It's just like our body, okay? When you pinch your hand, okay? It hurts in your heart, in your mind, okay? When someone spanks you, it hurts, okay? So any part of the body, okay, is violated, it hurts. That's the concept of same substance. So far, so good? This is not something intellectual at all. It is something that the enlightened people can understand. Okay? That's how they perceive things that we cannot. Okay? Why is it important? It's important because when you go to a temple and someone is so manic and drives you up the wall, I'm not saying my temple, I'm saying a temple in general. And you know, God forbid, it's so many manic people nowadays, whichever temple you go, okay? And these manic people, they throw tantrums when they're not happy. Yes, it touches somebody close to home. Yes, Black.
Dạ, thưa thầy, từ bi giải thích cho chúng con biết thế nào là hưng cảm. Con nghe thường mà con không có hiểu rõ, và cái nguyên nhân của nó có phải là do tự tôn mặc cảm mà ra hay không?
Okay.
Master.
Wow.
Master, could you please explain to us what does it mean, manic? And what is the reason that causing it? Is that because they feel inferior inside?
I'm glad you asked, because we happen to know a little bit about manic people. We have so many of them at the temples. I don't know about the other temples. Our temple is full of manic people. Okay? Manic people, manic is a mental condition where these people, for example, when I first was exposed to it, is one of my monk disciples who thinks he's Jesus. Okay? So he says, he's normal. And every now and then, he talks as if he's Jesus. okay? And so you see, it's off and on, these people. So most of the time, maybe they're normal, they're very loving, they're friendly, they're very reasonable. And the next moment, okay, as soon, I don't know if you can identify with this. And again, I'm not pointing any of you, okay? Just because I'm looking at you doesn't mean it's you. Probably is, but it does not mean it's you. Manic people, as soon, I want you to pay attention to this. You see the pattern. As soon as you cross them, you go against the wishes, okay? They throw tantrums. Okay? Tantrum in Vietnamese is called light. I don't come anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Sound familiar, Sianan? No? Sinan, she's in LA right now, not in Korea. What are you doing? She says, more? She said, more? Go ahead. Agree or disagree?
동의합니다. agree. I'm agree.
What did she say? I agree. Very good. Oh, hallelujah. I understand her. Thank you. Very good. Okay? I want you to recognize that both you, manic people, and you, of course, most of us are not manic, right? Non-manic people, you recognize this as well. Because when you're manic and you realize you are throwing tantrums, you're unhappy, you complain, and you don't feel like doing anymore, you want to walk away, okay? Okay? That's a manic response because you're throwing a tantrum. You're behaving like a kid, okay? And you who are not manic and see people throwing tantrums, okay, then you recognize that they are under in the altered state where they're not themselves. It's not them. Okay? It's not them at all. Okay? So there's no point in punishing them. This is what happens. They throw tantrum, people like, you're such a bad boy, and you punish them. And that's exactly why they throw tantrums. And then when that happens and you punish them, okay, they are victims. So are you, because it's not them. Okay, they're not themselves. So that's why when you observe this, people throwing tantrums regularly, you recognize they're manic, so he says, okay, it's okay. Do not do anything. Don't do anything. Just don't justify, don't argue, don't explain, just swallow it. Just endure it. Boy, we're going to be here for a while. Yes, ma'am.
And what about if the person is your kid?
Huh?
What about if the person is your kid and then they make requests about things? Do you do nothing at that time? What's the best way to deal with kids throwing tantrums?
Come again? What is the question again?
The question is, what if the person is your kid and then they're making requests?
Yes.
So if you ignore, is that still the best way, just to ignore?
Well, kids are slightly different in that they are allowed to throw tantrums. Adults are not allowed to throw tantrums. Those throwing tantrums like kids, it doesn't quite work that way. Kids When they throw tantrums, it's not the first time you know how to deal with it. Okay? You do whatever is reasonable to help them. Okay? But expect that as a kid's behavior. You can't reason with them, okay? And you just have to find a way to work with that. Okay, I'm talking about adults. I'm not a kids expert. Okay.
The reason I ask is I observe the behavior is kind of similar to what you described.
For in the kids?
Yeah, meaning it's kind of manic, I think.
Okay. Now, if your kid happens to be manic, and I will go into greater detail for you privately, because this is not a session about manic thing, okay? I defer to the professionals, but we've dealt with so many manic people, so I have some insights that's purely Buddhist, okay? So anyway, so when the kids are manic, same thing, okay? The kids, when they act up, okay, is in order for you to do something to punish them. Okay? Don't punish them. Do not punish them. Because then they've succeeded. Okay? You just put up with it, okay? And find other ways to help them, but you don't punish them. Okay? Because it's exactly what they want. Manic people, they act up, they throw tantrums, is in order to eventually for them to be punished one way or the other. Okay? So for kids, you have to help them overcome it because they're not themselves either. All right? So let me go back to the point here. The point here is when see people who are in a manic tantrums, you recognize, okay, you recognize that, and you don't do anything, okay? You don't argue, you don't reason with them, you don't blame them for being unreasonable, you don't blame them for destroying the harmony or the peace or the calm or whatever, okay? They're not themselves. It's okay, okay? That's when you learn to practice patience. You learn to practice compassion because they're doing it hoping that they'll be punished. Okay? So don't. They're hoping they'll get hurt. Someone will hurt them. Okay? And you don't do anything. You put up with it. That's part of compassion. Okay? And that's just the logic behind it. Okay? The difference, what I'm getting at is that for enlightened people, okay, when you explain that to them, you say, they're not themselves. So sometimes, just like a kid, they need to throw a tantrum in order to release their negative energy. Otherwise, they go crazy. Wouldn't you rather that they release it through a tantrum than they go crazy and do something worse? Okay? So that's why. That's why it's very desirable to put up with the tantrums and don't judge them. Okay? You explain all you want, but for normal people, they still get upset already. They're afflicted already. Why do you yell at me? What did I do to you? You are not making any sense. So that's why normal people, they find it very hard because they're afflicted already. And therefore, it's very hard for them to control themselves, their emotions, their afflictions. However, for enlightened people, when you explain to them, listen, they're not themselves. Okay? So, put up with it. Bear with them. Okay? Ride out the storm. Don't do anything. They, whatever temper they throw, eventually we have to come back to normal. Just a matter of time. It's nothing. You don't have to do anything. Just wait for them, and will calm down by themselves. If you do anything at all, you add fuel to the fire, it gets bigger and bigger. Don't pick a fight with them. Okay, they love it. They're waiting for you to pick a fight, by the way. Manic people, when they throw tantrums, they're waiting for you. Either by your look, by look of disapproval, by your behavior, by your words, okay? They're looking for a fight. Remember that. So don't do anything to provoke them. Just bear with it, okay? That's how you quell down. You put out the fire a lot quicker, okay? So enlightened people, when you explain them to them that, they can do it easily. Whereas lay people, they argue back and forth. But I disagree. He seems so normal to me. You know, he seems very reasonable. He's very smart. He's educated. I don't believe that, that's not him. You understand? The difference between ordinary people and enlightened people is that the enlightened people, you don't need to explain to them that you are the same substance. They themselves, because of that basis of their outlook on lives, on others, they're with the same substance. Okay? Then that's why when we try to explain things to them, it's easier for them to release their affliction against others. That's why enlightened people can do things that you cannot. Questions, comments? Yes. Black.
Emitofuo Master, comment regarding children throwing tantrum. One of the idea I got from a book of Dr. Mattel Garbage. His advice was that when children throw tantrum, you just be there and tell them that mommy and daddy is here for you. You take your time, because most of the time in the American society, what we tell the children is, you know what, you throwing tantrum, go time out, go into your room. That is the time when the children is suffering, and you tell them go suffer alone. And when you do it like that, when they get older, they have problem. They have no backbone to lean back on, and they will, when they have problem, they won't share it with you, then you can't help them. So let them suffer, but you are there and say, mommy and daddy is here with you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You support them. Don't judge them. They're not themselves. Okay? You wait until they calm down to talk to reason with them. Talk reason with them. Until then, don't try to convince them, explain to them, or engage with them. Just like you said, the good doctor says, be there, tolerate it, okay? Put up with it. I'm here with you. I'm sorry I made you upset. Okay, what can I do? Okay, please forgive me. It's your fault, no one else's. Okay? But there's another way. You, practitioners, you who have some skills, okay? Blue Mountain Temple has a question first, and I will tell you.
예, 안녕하세요, 스님. 제가 궁금한 것은 조증에 대해서 많이 말씀을 하셨고, 또 제가 옆에 있는 사람 중에 조증이 있는 사람이 있어서 저는 이게 옳은지 모르겠지만 조증이 되는 원인에 대해서 조금 알고 싶습니다.
Hi, Master. You're mentioning about manic. So I understand there are several people with a manic state in this temple. I would like to know what would be the cause of the manic.
What is the what of the manic?
Oh, her temple. I'm sorry. There are several people with a manic state in her temple, and she wants to know what would be the cause of the manic state.
Oh, good Lord. I'm trying to avoid going there, but you ask again, I'm a small-time monk, so don't take everything I say literally, okay? It's just my opinion. Yeah. The reason the Manic is for us, for me as a Buddhist monk, is because he's possessed by a manic ghost. And I say that because the many manic people I helped were possessed by manic ghosts. I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying my own experience has been like that. Okay? That's all I have for you. Okay? It's a little bit beyond the psychotherapist or whoever can justify to you. Okay? YouTube comment.
Alta-D has a comment. He says, sometimes when I'm freaking out being manic, I talk to my mom. She does not know how to stay calm, and she adds fuel to the fire. And I tell her, you're not dealing with this right. I just need you to stay calm. I am freaking out. I see my parents argue all the time, and I tell them, just let the other one be mad. Stop fighting back. You're just adding fuel to the fire. But the best thing that has helped me when I was being manic was during long sits was Shinan Sunny just saying, it's okay, it's okay. That calmed me down a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Very good. Remember, there's some tips. Do not provoke them. Just patiently wait until the storm blows over. That's the rule of thumb. Don't provoke them. Don't argue with them. Don't criticize them. Okay? They're not themselves. That's all. That's all you have to remember. Okay? Yes, you too.
Brady says, when I threw temper tantrums when I was a young kid, my mom would throw a glass of cold water in my face.
Oh.
You still love your mom? Okay. Daniel, what do you do when your patients throw tantrums, sir?
So in my workplace, it's just individual. You have to know the client individually. But for the most of them, what I do is just I listen to them, and then I just let them talk as much as they can until they just dry out of energy. So and then that helps them calm down a little bit, and then I could process and work with them. As long as my safety is not I'm not in danger, I'm allowed them to talk.
Right, right. Very good. See, that's a professional right there. The people, they get into the state here, and especially tantrums, really. You just wait for them to calm down. That's all you have to do. Don't do anything. They'll calm themselves down. Okay? You do anything to provoke them, they will not calm down. They're hoping you provoke them. Okay? Anyone else? Okay. So the concept here, Daniel put it very well. He says, I wait for my workers, my patients to calm down. That's all. As long as they're not doing anything harmful to themselves and so forth, it's nothing to do. We just wait, patiently wait. Don't take it personally. Right? Is that what you said, Daniel? Or did I say much more than you said? If you find it useful, you can take it a step further. Okay? Because the concept here, like the yogis, is the yogi here today at Blue Mountain Temple. We have a yogi in a Blue Mountain Temple. This yogi of ours is into energy. Very useful concept. It takes energy to throw tantrums. Make sense? They're burning energy like a rocket. Okay? So what do? Instead of waiting for it to burn itself out, okay, you help them burn faster. That's what we can do. I'm not going to teach you in public how to do that. You want to learn privately, I'll be glad to show you. But this is why we practice Chan. This is why we do the hands and eyes. This is why we do all these things, because we develop those skills to actually help your child when you throw a tantrum, help him extinguish that flame quicker than otherwise. Same thing, okay? The difference, though, I need to caution you, is that when you're dealing, I'm talking about normal child, when they get into the mood where they want to throw a tantrum, that's part of their learning process. That's normal, nothing wrong with that. So bear with that, okay? Okay, that's all, and that's how you show your love, okay? But for adults who, if you observe the behavior, it's a learning process, by the way. You have plenty of chances, because nowadays there's so many manic people out there, anywhere you go, okay? At work, at home, in supermarket, you name it, okay? And so you learn to recognize them, okay? And in those cases, okay, you can't really help, because you're dealing with a ghost. So you can't really help extinguish the flame unless you're at my level. At our level, we are trained professionally to do those things. You're not. So don't do anything, okay? But for your children, you can help them. You can help them restore calm a lot quicker. But if they're really manic themselves, stay away. Do not touch them, okay? That's my advice to you. Blue Mountain Temple, go ahead.
I see the Phật, thưa thầy. Is it manic ghost jump from one member of the family to the other?
No translation? You spoke English? I'm waiting for the translation to Vietnamese. I didn't get it. I couldn't hear the English.
Thưa thầy, câu hỏi á, là cái con quỷ hưng cảm đó, nó có phải là nhảy từ người này qua người kia ở trong gia đình hay không?
Oh no. Can we stick to the sutra? We are not doing mental treatments here, mental disorders here. Yes, let's move on. It's possible. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So the concept I'm trying to tell you here is enlightened people, especially first ground bodhisattvas or higher, they're a different class of people. They're able to do things you can learn a lot quicker than we can, okay? And in particular, because of that, in their makeup, in the brain, in their brain network, they have this foundation of we're the same substance. So it's easy for them to make up, to recreate harmony and to forgive, be compassionate, all those things. Okay? Naturally, without any reasoning, without any deduction, without any excuses. They naturally feel that way because it's part of their makeup. It's not something that we ordinary people can do unless we sit there and say, we are all, Californians, we're all Japanese, so we need to learn to live in harmony with each other, and so forth. You keep on reasoning, okay? And whatever you throw at it, it's basically intellectual stuff. Whereas here for these people, for these enlightened people, first ground bodhisattvas or higher, they naturally understand that. You don't have to say anything. All right? Blue Mountain Temple.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. What do you do when the manic people start to get more aggressive, even trying to kill you. Like for me, when they get too aggressive, I try to like back up a little bit. If I'm standing, I try to get into a safe place. But what would you do in that case, in that scenario?
What would I do? I would run.
I did that once too.
Absolutely, sir. There's no way to reason with these people. They try to kill you, I will run. You can't win. Okay? You cannot win. It's no point. So I'd rather lose. I admit I lose, I run. Besides, I'm a coward. Okay? It's not worth getting in trouble because of a manic person to me. Okay?
I had to run like 4 times in my workplace though.
There you go. Or you can get a gun. Okay. No, I don't recommend it. You know, it's no rhyme or reason. You know, you concede. You say, okay, it's yours. The room is yours. You know, the house is yours. The company is yours. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, or you say, excuse me, my mom is calling me. Okay, my beloved wife needs my attention. Okay, I need to go say goodbye to my child for the last time. Okay, whatever you do, just run away. It's not worth butting heads with these people. They're picking a fight with you. Okay, beware of it, that's all. Don't butt heads with them. Okay? And it's a step further, though, for these enlightened people when they have this same substance concept with you, because of that, okay, they naturally are compassionate, that we don't have. Okay? What is this compassion? It's called great compassion because they feel your pain. Not in the sense of feeling your pain, but because you're in pain, you're suffering, okay? And they said naturally, the Chinese, the books, the Buddhist scripture says, they feel, you know, they take living beings suffering as their own suffering. That's in the scriptures, okay? And that's a very poetic and polite way of expressing it, describing it. But it is, you know, for most normal people, okay, non-Chinese people, okay, take someone else, your own suffering there, is not necessary. You can simply be compassionate by being able to respect people's pain. And you don't want that for them, even to your worst enemies. And that's what is called compassion. Okay? So don't be taken aback by the Chinese saying that they take living beings' pain and suffering as their own suffering and so forth. That's poetic. Okay? But what it means is that they can sympathize with your pain and suffering a lot more easily than normal people. Okay? And not only that, they take a step further. When they see you in pain, okay, they naturally are more inclined to do something to help you relieve your pain instead of condemning you. So that's why those of you who are already enlightened, when you see a manic person throwing a tantrum, instead of accusing them, instead of condemning them, instead of judging them, you look at them, you bear with them. If they try to kill you, run, okay? Don't fight, run, okay? And naturally, you find a way to help relieve them eventually, relieve them of that obstruction, of that affliction, and enlightened people can develop with skills to do that unfortunately low-level people cannot. Namely, for example, Some of you are 4-stage arhats, okay? You're gonna handle the manic ghost. I'm sorry. They're too strong for you. Nothing you can do. Okay? Way beyond you. Okay? This is where there's a huge difference between Hinayana and Mahayana. Mahayana, okay, we can train you and teach you how to develop skills to do it because you have the strength, the muscle power to do that. Low level, you can't. You're not strong enough. Can't handle them. Okay? Just the way it is. They're very powerful. Do not mess with them. Okay? Any questions or comments? Question from JMT.
Master, I have a question. So when you feel the pain and suffering from other people, and if you endure, and if your affliction arises and you don't do anything long enough, is it going to help you to develop more compassion?
I don't quite understand the question.
So when you experience or feel the pain or suffering from others, and you don't do anything, and when your affliction arises and you don't do anything and endure for a long time, will it help you to develop more compassion?
Your affliction arises, and then what? I have some interference here, so I miss a few words here and there.
If you don't do anything about it, and you recognize your own affliction and don't do anything long time enough, develop patience, will it help you to develop more compassion?
Yes. The first rule of thumb is to do nothing, to make it worse. Okay? So bear with them. Okay? Walk away. Yield to them. Okay? Let them have the car. Let them have the space. Admit you're wrong. Whatever. Okay? Don't fight with them. Don't butt heads with them. That's it. Okay? And you bear it. Now, the question I would interpret the question is as, what if you bear with it, but you can't, but you're afflicted? Yes? Because the thing about these manic people is they keep on increasing the intensity. Because if you don't have any reaction, they will make it worse. They will scream louder. They will become meaner. They become more aggressive and so forth. They threaten to kill you and all those things, right? That's manic people. That's normal. So they keep on cranking up the intensity of their tantrums, okay? And what do? You learn to bear more and more of it instead of saying, oh my God, now it's all used to be so peaceful. Now it's just like, can we just have some peace here? Can we just get together and live together in peace and harmony and so forth? You're missing the point. It's an opportunity for you to learn to bear with it. Never mind about trying to develop more compassion. I'm asking you a very simple thing. Man and mind, okay? Nothing gained. Only thing you do is bear more of it. If they increase the intensity of the tantrums, whether it's kids or whether a manic person, you increase your patience, your tolerance level. That's all. And guess what? Who's going to win? I ask you. You're going to win because they're going to get tired. They can scream for so long. They can be angry for so long. They can throw tantrum for so long. And they said, I'm so tired. I need some sugar. I need some, I need something because I'm out of energy. Okay? You don't spend your energy. You bear it. That's all. Let's not talk about compassion. Let's talk about the fact that they get tired and we don't. Okay? Compassion is a much higher level where eventually you learn how to deal with it. You're not at the level you can do anything about it. Remember, I said a while ago, I said, 4th-stage arhat, for example, can't handle it. Forget it. Never mind about compassion. Okay? You are incapable of doing anything about it. The one thing, the one constant for all of you is bear it. Bear more of it. That's all you do. And that's how you become a better person. By bearing it. Okay? No rhyme or reason, just bear it. Don't complain. Don't tell me, you see, there you go, you see. We're reasonable, he's unreasonable. Can't we just, I wish, we could live in harmony, get together more peacefully. No. It is what it is. You don't complain. You don't wish. You just bear it. Okay? What is that called? That's called meditation. You think meditation is crossing your legs, ladies and gentlemen? It's not. Meditation, let me tell you, is about bearing it. If you don't cross your legs, but you bear something that's very difficult to bear, and you keep on bearing and bearing more of it, it's called Chan meditation in my book. I know for 15 years I've been telling you, get into full lotus, okay? And don't you dare unbuckle. Why? Because I'm forcing you to learn to bear more and more of something that you don't like. Sound familiar? It's no different from bearing a person throwing tantrums. Don't blame him, don't blame her, okay? Just bear it. That's meditation, right there. And new rule, he who meditates wins. Okay? Doesn't matter what you say. Okay? You bear it, you win. You eventually get what you want. But be patient. Bear more and more and more and more. Don't just say, this is too much. There's so much I'm willing to take. Okay? That's not meditation. That's called what? Quitting. It's called what? Copping out. This is too much for me. This is unreasonable. It's a cop out. You bear it. That's all. Lou Mountain, question.
Master, thank you. So I've heard some externalist teachings, namely Jungian psychology. They talk about that depression is like a person who is stuck in childhood psychology and never actually grow up. Since Manic comes like in a pair with depression, I feel that the same kind of theory applies here. And in my own self, I can see that I used to spend so much time being absorbed in a computer and never actually grow up as a human being until I started learn meditation. So can I ask what's your opinion on this kind of idea that maybe manic and depression is a symptom of a person not growing up, not developing as a human being.
I happen to disagree with that. It's a conjecture that's unproven, and that's not factual. There's some therapists who would say depression is anger turned inward. That makes more sense. Okay? But still, it's not what is the real problem yet. Okay? So, depression is the opposite of manic, the flip side of manic, where you punish yourself. Manic people hope you punish them. Depressed people punish themselves, isolate themselves from others. Okay? Don't feel like getting up in the morning, get out of bed. Okay? Don't feel like talking to people. Okay? So they isolate themselves in order to continue to feel bad. Okay? Yeah. So again, it's something that low-level people will have a hard time handling. You need help, okay? And it's possible to deal with depression and have a normal life and actually rise all above it, okay? Through Chan training. That's the good news, okay? So in particular for this particular person here, okay? When you are depressed, okay, recognize some of the symptoms. I just taught you right there. If you think you're manic, just catch yourself. It's okay. You're going to throw tantrums and so forth. But then you realize, oh, gee, did I just throw a tantrum? Okay? So next time, you recognize you're throwing a tantrum faster. That's what you do. Okay? You don't need to. You don't need to stop it yourself. Just say, oh, I just threw a tantrum. How ridiculous it was. Okay? I keep on blaming others. Okay? And so, with the manic person, especially for adults, they need to recognize they're throwing a tantrum. Okay? It's a very coarse form. You throw a tantrum. So, next time, you recognize the trigger. Why did I throw a tantrum? Okay? This is what the psychologist is very useful in that sense. You go to psychologists, the good ones, and the real professional ones who are experienced in dealing with this, they call something called behavioral modification, meaning they recognize the triggers, and they say, I'm not going there. Okay? She offends me. Okay? So when I look at her and I recognize I'm getting angry at her, I say, I'm not getting angry at her, I walk away. Then you cannot throw tantrum at her. It's called, you don't go there. You don't go there. You don't allow yourself to go there. Like yesterday, last night, I said, stop being a victim. You don't have to be a victim, okay? You can do something about it by recognizing your trigger. Don't go there, okay? You say, you know, so that's what manic people do. You need to recognize that you are throwing a tantrum because it's very coarse, that person. You don't like her, okay? Then when that feeling, I don't like you, and you about to, that you stop right there. Okay, that's the beginning of my about to throw a tantrum. You back off, walk away. So far, so good. Depressed people, similar thing. What is the trigger? Okay, but the behavior is different. It's not throwing tantrum. Depressed people, they isolate themselves. They don't feel like being with anyone. They want to just leave me alone. Okay? I'm feeling bad. I don't want to see you. I don't want to try to put up a facade of civility, of friendliness, because I feel bad inside. Okay? I don't have energy for that. I want to feel bad. All right? When that happens, again, I'm no therapist, please. Okay? Don't accuse me if something bad happens to you. Okay? I'm a well-meaning idiot monk. Okay? When you feeling you depressed, okay, depression only works because you dwell on that bad feeling. You feel bad and say, I want to lie here and feel bad for now. I don't want to see people because I'm feeling bad. Okay? You don't stay by yourself and feel bad. You get up and you keep yourself busy. Do something. Go to work. Go garden. Go wash your dog, the poor dog, for the 10th time today. Okay? Go do something. Get on poker. Play poker. I don't care. Work. Okay? You don't dwell on those thoughts. That's all. Okay? And eventually, when you reach a little bit higher levels in your chant skills, you'll be able to, it's much easier for you to overcome these afflictions. Okay? That's what has to happen. So I love it because one of my disciples is a manic, and he checked himself into the hospital, and he said they gave me drugs, and they taught me something called behavioral modification. You change your behavior. You don't go there. You avoid those traps where once you get there, you're going to be there for quite a while. So avoid those places. Okay? Avoid those sinkholes. Avoid those what is it called? Sands? What? Sinking sands. Okay? Avoid those places because just don't go there. That's all. You may be feeling good, but you don't need to make it worse by going to those places. That's all. Okay? Okay? And they both have the same common denominator. Don't dwell there. Get your mind on something else. Keep yourself busy. Okay? Instead of dwelling on yourself. The most common denominator of all these things, by the way, is that the more self-serving you are, the more manic you are. That's the tip. You are basically so darn self-serving. That's why you get so easily depressed. That's why it's so easily manic. Because it's about you. So when you recognize you're in that mode, manic mode, better late than never, okay? When you're in that depressed mode, okay? Get up. Do something for others. Don't dwell on yourself. Don't dwell on those feelings. That's nonsense, okay? So some people, they say, let me go to work because at least I work and make some money and I can feed my family and buy my kids some gifts, okay? Or give master more money for his temples, okay? And so forth, okay? Do something for someone else but yourself. That's what the psychologist did not teach my disciple, okay? The key is to get away from thinking for yourself. Do something for others, for God's sake. Go work in a kitchen or a church, okay? Go help someone. Do something for others. Don't dwell on your bad feelings. Don't dwell on your anger. Don't dwell on your righteousness. That's all. And you find it so much easier to ride those waves out. I know someone who's so depressed because of her husband. Her husband is very, very depressed. He gets into the moods. He's depressed, that's it. He can't function. He makes the whole family depressed. And she's told me, she says, I was a very happy person before I met him, before I married him. I fell in love with him and married him. Now I realize, talking to you, that I got severe depression from him. Okay? This woman is very smart. When she realizes that, instead of being depressed all day, what does she do? Every time she realizes she's depressed, she's feeling bad, not feeling like getting up in the morning, not feeling like talking to anyone, what does she do? She goes to work. She keeps herself so busy from morning to evening. What for? To feed her kids. Because the husband, when he's so depressed, he's not going to work, you know. He won't do anything. So she keeps busy for her kids. Okay? That's a low-level form. Okay? But she's so sure of herself. She said, that's my solution. It works for me. And I never had to stand to teach her. I just taught you. Okay? It's not about keeping busy. That's a course form. If you're busy, you keep yourself busy, but you're busy for yourself. Then they keep on coming back and attack you. You understand the subtlety here? You keep busy by helping others, not helping yourself. You help your kids, like in her case, she helped her kids because of her love for her children. So deep down, who is she helping? Herself. Oh God, I don't think we get so sidetracked so easily. Yes, question from JMT.
Oh, it's a continuing question from last question. So when a person gets more intense with the manic as you endure, and then if the person make other people get angry toward you or get more hatred toward you, do you still do anything?
Well, you can try poison. What I like to do when I was younger is I would get some itchy powder, put it on her chair, and watch her scratch herself. And then it gets on her hands. It's so cool. It's sweet revenge, if you will. I loved it. Try that. But I think she's asking for a reasonable person, not a bad monk like me. What would you do? Okay, I don't know. I prefer making them suffer a little bit. Okay, yeah. So she still doesn't get it, does she? Yeah, if it gets worse, bear more. What is the problem? You say, goody. She's getting worse. She's getting even more manic. This is so cool. I'm going to bear more of this. Thank you, Lord. You know? Okay? And it gets worse tomorrow. Oh, cool. This is so cool. Okay? I'm going to even take more of this. You should say, oh, this is so cool. I'm so happy. Huh? He said, oh, so much I can take it, so much I can take it. This is unreasonable. That is what? This person is depressed. Okay. Just bear more. This is a rule of thumb. Let them. They're going to get tired. Blue Mountain question. Can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
Okay. No?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So if the person, can you hear me, Master? Can you hear me?
Come again?
Yeah,
we can hear you. I'm patiently enduring your silence.
So if a person gets too manic or like they want to hurt themselves or others, at that point is the best way is to call the police at that point to prevent from him hurting himself or others.
No, manic people don't hurt themselves. Depressed people hurt themselves. Manic people don't hurt themselves at all. Okay? Manic people do something outrageous, stupid, so that we hurt them. You hurt them. You take out a gun and then, you feel lucky today, huh? Oh, sorry. Do you feel lucky? Okay? They do something stupid, outrageous, so that we hurt them. That's why they're manic. They don't hurt themselves. Depressed people will hurt themselves. All right? Anyone else? Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then we go back to the sutra. Thank you. All right, so this is a concept of identity and substance. This is a state of mind. Again, it's not logic, it's not beliefs. It's just, that's how they think, naturally. All right? And so this is the verses from the Great Master Ching Liang on 232 commentary. He says, "May I receive the Triple Jewel's kindness, identity, and substance?" Okay. He says, this is a prayer. He says that I would like, he's a monk. He said, I would like to be of the same substance as the Triple Jewel. Okay, Triple Jewel substance here, meaning that the Triple Jewel symbolizes the greatest form of kindness and compassion, the greatest form of wisdom. So he says, it's not about me anymore. It's about me merging with the nature of the Triple Jewel. Okay? Whatever Triple Jewel is capable of doing, of goodness, okay, I'd like to be part of that. All right? And so that I can be kinder. Okay, he's very humble. I just want to be kind. I want to be as infinitely kind as a Triple Jewel. Triple Jewel is infinite kindness. Okay? Kindness is to give joy. Give joy to this, to that person, to that person, to that dog, to that cat, okay? Anything, anyone that comes to a contact with us, we can reach, we give them joy. That's simple. Nothing, no scheming here. If we have a chance to give joy to you, we give joy to you, period, and we're done. Don't need to be reciprocated, don't hope to be rewarded, don't hope to be recognized, okay? It's freely. Give joy. Bring joy to people's lives. How many people that you met who are like that? Yes. Black.
I just want to comment, Master is the only person I know that can do that.
Jing! Thank you. Love you too. Brownie point. Okay, we do keep track of those scores. Okay, and he says, I want next to be able to understand the Buddha's teaching in these sutras, okay? And the Buddha's intent, why the intention of the Buddhas when he taught these things in this Avatamsaka Sutras. When he spoke the Avatamsaka Sutra, he wanted to have some intentions. He intended for something. And I want to be able, okay, to be able to merge with that intention, okay, the well-meaning, okay, in every single phrase, okay. And this intention, I mesh profoundly, okay, with the Buddha's intention. Okay? Why is it important? Why? Yes, Black. Black.
Thank you, Master. Yes. So I think that's the seed of becoming Buddha.
Okay.
That desire, that wish.
Okay. It is a very clever word of wisdom in that it's called sudden teaching. He says, you yourself right now see yourself as Mr. A, Mrs. B, okay? And you yourself see yourself as different from the Buddha, from a triple jewel. Let me tell you, okay? I know Master Ching Liang says, I know that we have the same substance as the Buddha. That's a sweeping away all your notions of self, of your fears, of your manic depression. Huh? You manic. You throwing a tantrum. You feel so depressed. You said, what depression? I am the same substance as the Buddha. So you dwell the thoughts you dwelled on the triple jewel instead of dwelling on your depression or dwelling on your anger. So immediately it wipes it out. You're depressed because you keep on thinking about it. You're manic because you keep on allowing yourself to get angry and angrier and angrier and angrier. Okay? So that's another way, another trick we us Buddhists can do is very effective. Okay? If you believe in this and you practice Chan, you recite the Buddha's name, okay? You should try this, absolutely. This is a very quick way to put out the fire of depression, put out the fire of manic state. Okay? You may not be able to put out 100%. Let me tell you, if you switch to that mode like there, you can put out, first time, 20%. Keep on thinking, you keep on, you still feel depressed? You at that level, you say, but let me get closer to triple jewel. You cut down more, you shape more and more and more. You dwell those thoughts. I am with the triple jewel. I am part of the triple jewel. I'm no different from the Buddha. This is what he used in order to say, I'm not, he thinks I'm not the Buddha, so when he tried to understand the sutra, he still has this notion of a self that's separate from the Buddha. Whereas when he says, I prayed I'd be able to, when I looked at the sutra, I no longer myself, see myself as a Ching Liang looking at the sutra, but I see myself as a Buddha looking at the sutra. You see the difference? The same Dharma door right there. It's called sudden awakening. Because it's true. Your own karmic obstructions, your own limitations will limit how much for that to happen. But you keep at it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. People don't know. People don't believe. They stop and say, oh, it doesn't work for me. I still feel depressed. Okay? The people who have wisdom, who have faith, they said, I can see it's slightly better. Okay? You plant more thoughts. Okay? I'm the same substance as the Buddha. Who's depressed? Who's worried? Okay? And that's the Mahayana way, a very simple Mahayana approach to dealing with your mental challenges. Okay? No rhyme or reason. What we're teaching you is about faith. It's not about reason. It's not something that your thinking mind can comprehend. It requires faith that you, because you don't know it yet, but one day you yourself will be there and you say, oh, that's exactly right. What I learned 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago is true. I'm the same substance as the Buddha. This has happened for so many Buddhist disciples already. You will not be the first, I assure you. Those you who are my disciples, I assure you, you are not the first. People in the Ru generation have accomplished that already. Okay? Question from JMT.
Hello, Master. With this method, would it cause some people to have attitude to be in denial? Like they have a depression and then they believe they are fine in some cases?
Well, let them try and see what happens.
I met some people
It
here in Korea.
It doesn't work for everyone. Okay, I use a critical word. A key word is what? Faith. You don't have faith, it's not going to work. So yes, of course, if you teach it to the people who don't have enough faith, it's not going to work. It's no point for them to try. Okay, I'm talking about us who been through the mills and who suffered and was willing to cross our legs even when it hurts. Okay, those people, because they said because I have faith in the instructions, then it will work. But if you doubt the instructions, there's no point. No point in trying. Blue Mountain Temple.
Master, can we ask which one of the rude disciple that has attained the state of that?
I can't quite hear you. Would you mind repeating the question?
Which of your rude disciple that has attained the state of seeing the nature?
None of your damn business. Okay, any other question? Okay. This is beautiful. Master Jing Liang is teaching you right here. May I? Okay? May I use YouTube question? Go ahead.
Jane asks, can a fourth-stage arhat handle their own depression ghosts?
No, they can't. Because the arhat has a weakness that those ghosts, you believe in them, they exist, and they're the cause of those afflictions. They know the arhat's weakness. That's why they can easily dance circles around the arhat's weakness, and they can't to the Bodhisattva. Okay? They recognize, they know the arhat has a weakness. Whereas the Bodhisattvas, even the lowest level Bodhisattvas, don't have the same kind of weakness as an arhat. That's why the Bodhisattvas can be trained, can be taught to overcome it. The arhats cannot, because the arhat cannot see the weakness. They believe they have no weakness. But we know where the weaknesses are, and so the ghosts also recognize that. Okay? YouTube question.
Let Go asks, Master, so are you saying that if a person keeps doing something, even if it doesn't work, that is faith and they are building up the good seed?
Possibly. I'm not saying that it works for everyone. When we talk about certain teaching, it's not for everyone. However, it also means that for someone like the sixth patriarch who never meditated before, never meditated before, all he did for his entire life is to work, to feed his mother. And he encountered someone in the marketplace reciting, as the Varsha Sutra says, one should bring forth a mind that dwells nowhere. He says, say what? What kind of nonsense is that? He just said, oh, that's what I should do. And he certified the fourth stage arhat based on the strength of his purity in belief. I said, I should not bring forth a mind that dwells nowhere, not on my mother, not on my father, not on my money, not on my poverty, not on my pain, not on my suffering, nothing. And boom, all the pain and the hardship disappeared. And I said, wow, I never felt this way before in my entire life. There's something about the Dharma here that needs to be investigated. That's the demonstration of pure faith without understanding. He's illiterate, remember? He's not trained like you to question, what do you mean by dwelling nowhere? Prove to me that your mind dwells nowhere. I challenge you. Give me some gauges, some measurements that shows that your mind dwells nowhere. Prove to me, please. We're scientists, aren't we? We're educated people, aren't we? How else can you explain the sixth patriarch, Hui Neng, hearing that phrase right there? He became a fourth stage aha, he became enlightened, just like that. Faith, that's the only thing. You say, oh, I don't need to understand. I don't need no education. I don't need no mother. I don't need no filiality. That's how after that he says, sayonara, mama. See you next life. YouTube question.
Jason asks, do demons recite the Shurangama mantra?
Why not? But we recite better. We train to recite better. So let them recite. We just recite better. What are you afraid of? Why do we recite better? Because we train to recite better. They're not trained to recite better. You think you can take a mantra and you recite and you become better? No, you need to go through training. That's why you can't simply get on the internet and pick up a mantra and say, I recited, I'm the same as you. No, you cannot be the same as me because I was trained to recite. You're not. I don't care however long you recite, you're not trained. Okay, so I don't care if the demons, just like you, can pick up the information on the internet or on a piece of paper, on a book somewhere, and recite it. Be my guest. But when I recite it, you will run for cover, I assure you. Okay, anything else? Okay, go back to slide 233, in the Gatha, the great master continues. May I cause the Dharma eye to never ever fail, exhausting realms of living beings like universal worthy.
彼令法眼常无缺，尽众生界如普贤。
All right, 234. He says, he brought the concept of the Dharma eye. Okay, Dharma eye is one of the 5 spiritual eyes that when you have these spiritual practices, you will develop them naturally. Okay, in our temple, on the way up here, I was talking to one of our disciples, and he says, "It's so cool. This year, I talked to so many people, okay, and this person says, I saw, this boy here has a black dragon as his bodyguard. Okay, I saw, people have these different visions. Okay, and they said they don't dare talk about it because they fear that they sound weird and people would think they're crazy and cuckoo and so forth. But it turns out that this year, at Lu Mountain Temple, there are quite a few number of people who actually verify each other's visions. Okay, so I'm telling you, I'm relating this to you because they seem to be true. They're not crazy. I think they all look normal so far. Okay, and so my point to you is that it naturally happens when you practice, when you do spiritual practices, not just Buddhism, but any form of spiritual practices, you will develop these spiritual eyes. And the reason you see people who can see dragons, you can see, this and that, is because it's a natural evolution. Okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, however, this Dharma eye is a big deal. You can see dragons, you can see ghosts, you can see Wan Yin Bodhisattva floating in the air, Wan Yin Bodhisattva standing there in lotus days, humongous thing, dressing white and so exquisite. That's fine. But these people, I'm telling them, okay, they cannot open the Dharma eye. So that's why you say, yeah, it's nice. What about your Dharma eye? You see, where's your Dharma eye? Tell me what you can see your Dharma eye. And they say, I can see dragons. I can see gods? So what's this Dharma eye? Okay. This Dharma eye here arises, is a reflection of your wisdom. Your enlightened wisdom, not just any form of wisdom. Art's wisdom is not quite good enough. Okay? But this particular Dharma eye here, okay, you can see the principles of Buddhism. You can understand the principles. You too.
Alta-D asks, is it possible to have the Dharma eye but no spiritual eye?
I don't know. When I have a Dharma eye, I will let you know. So, easy question, huh? Any more questions like that? Okay, so this Dharma eye here, again, it's able to see things that are in accord with the Buddhist principles. You see something happens, for example, that's a cause and effect. That's because of this and because of that, as the Buddha taught, okay? So that confirms the state of your wisdom. Okay? And furthermore, you can see all Dharma's real marks. Okay? Meaning that you are no longer fooled by appearances. Okay? You don't ask, if you have the Dharma eye, you don't ask your husband to be sweet to you. You don't expect people to be nice to you. You don't expect this, don't expect that. Okay? So you see the real mark. What's the real mark? The real mark is emptiness. Maybe the most beautiful red car there is. But it's still empty to you. Bad example. Okay, let me see something I can okay, you know what I mean. Okay, so that whatever you see could be the most desirable thing on this earth. You are not greedy for it. Not at all. So far, so good. You're free from those temptations. YouTube question.
Jason asks, if demons also recite the Shurangama mantra, how can we tell if monks are not possessed themselves by the demons?
Why should I be concerned about that? Good luck to you. Okay? Hey, man, I'm struggling enough for my lecture here. Why do I have to worry about some monks who are possessed by a demon? Good luck to them. Good luck to you. Okay? I'm worried about going through surviving this lecture here and not embarrassing myself. Okay? All due respect. Have some compassion, man. Don't ask me a question I can't answer. So another aspect of the Dharma eye is that you see reality of things. Okay? So that you're not as easily tempted. You're not. You see a check for $10,000 and you're not tempted at all. Or I remember Goyin's, my ex chef's kitchen manager mother, you know. She would give me $100 bill. I would reach for it and she said, "Quit!" Okay, she did it to me once. So next time, I gave her $100 bill. And she, so fast, woman. Anyway, so the point is that you can see you are not attached to appearances anymore. That's what's meant by real marks. Okay, you're not impressed by a yacht. You're not impressed by a huge check. You're not impressed by a beautiful form. Okay, so you're free from afflictions, if you will. Okay, you're not impressed by someone throwing a tantrum at you. Okay, you can say, "What's the big deal? It's you who's throwing tantrum. Means nothing to me." Loser. I mean, excuse me. Another one personal, okay? But the point here is that, you see, it's empty. You see through it, it's not a big deal. Okay? You're so free. All right? And Why is it special? This particular spiritual eye is only possessed by bodhisattvas. Below that, you cannot have a Dharma eye. Okay? So that's why the bodhisattva has a special ability called, they develop this Dharma eye so that they can recognize things that enables them to help all of us because they have true wisdom. You understand why it's so important? You know, like someone says, oh, in prior life, I was a princess. I say, good for you. How does it help you right now? Please tell me. Huh? I know it's impressive that, you know, Jane says, oh, these people, they can see this, they can see that, they know this, they know that. And my mind says, wow, how wonderful. I hope they become enlightened soon. Does it matter, you see? You see that in a prior life you were a dog, in a prior life you were a princess, in a prior life you were so rich and so successful, in a prior life you were so manic. So what? Come on, let's get real. Okay? So this Dharma eye here, the Bodhisattva uses Dharma eye here and looks at you and says, this is what I need to do to help you become enlightened. The Bodhisattvas who are serious with their profession, they spend time developing this, folks. It takes time to develop it because it's critical to their work. Okay? That's why this bullet number 4 here, okay? They look at you, Dharma is you in particular, not just any Dharmas, look at you. And they said, what practice can you do to become enlightened? That's a big prize. Okay? And furthermore, okay, they have these multitudes of expedients, of skill and means they employ in order to guide you there. It's not just talk, it's not just about theory. They know where to nudge you, when to nudge you. Okay? So, finally, all these bullet points tell you that the Bodhisattva has different degrees of Dharma eyes. You get the last bullet here, okay? Last bullet here, they're a little bit higher already. Okay? Because you need to get a certain level before you can learn about expedience, skill and means. Okay? And after that, okay, you can, as I observe, you then eventually, okay, get a little bit higher, then eventually, then your manic or depression ghosts will be afraid of you because they can't do anything to you anymore. At low levels, they can, but you can recover. At high level, a little bit higher level, they cannot do much to you anymore. That's when you are able to help. Understand? It's not talk. All right? So this Dharma eye is critical for their work. So, I ask you, you want the Dharma eye, or you want the eye to see what prior life your son was? Or in a prior life, you were in the heavens? That's fun to talk about, but it's not very useful, not very practical. Okay? It's fun for me because I can impress people with that. My disciple can see that they're from the Pure Land. I can't, but my disciple can't. Okay? So this is why you can talk, but in Mahayana, the true skills are in developing this Dharma eye here, because we need it to work. It needed our work. All right? So what did he say? He says, may I cause the Dharma eye to never fail and fail? Okay? That's what the verse is. May I cause the Dharma eye to never, ever fail. Okay? There you have it. Sometimes we make mistakes. Okay? For some reason, I imagine that sometimes we're off. And when we're off, what happens to you? We'll give you penicillin instead of an aspirin. I say, oops, sorry. I promise I fix it next time around when I see you again. Okay? So that's why every now and then they do fail. Okay? They make a mistake. Okay? YouTube question.
Was Master Tian Guo asked, was Master Shenhua using the Dharma eye to see people when he said he didn't see man or woman and only looks at them to see what is preventing them to see their nature?
Probably. But what do I know? So you may cause the Dharma eye to never ever fail, meaning that may I will not make any mistake in trying to help living beings. Okay? Not because I'm afraid of failure, because I'm afraid that I might cause them suffering. So far, so good? He's not worried by himself. He says, I will fail, because it's all intentions, okay? All my good intentions, all my due respect to you, every now and then, I do make mistakes. And that's why I wish that I understand the importance of Dharma eye, therefore I wish my Dharma eye to get better and better and better and better, so that it will never fail me. So I don't inadvertently hurt living beings instead of helping them. Okay? Okay, next, 235. Exhausting realms of living beings like universal worthy. Okay? So he says, this Dharma eye here that I can use to help all living beings in the entire cosmos, like the well-known universal worthy Bodhisattva. Who is he? He's a Bodhisattva, a great Bodhisattva. He's Mahasattva. Actually, he's a Buddha already. Okay, whose job is to help all living beings in the universe. So his Dharma eye, okay, is infallible. He can help any living being at all in the universe. So he says, that's what I want to do. If my job, my aspiration is to become a Bodhisattva, have a Dharma eye. Okay, I want to have that kind of Dharma eye that universal worthy Bodhisattva has. I will not settle for less. Okay, and as long as we at universal worthy Bodhisattva, okay, it's important for you, okay, especially those of you who come to the temple and participate in our morning ceremony, okay. We recite every morning these 10 vows of universal worthy Bodhisattva, okay, and I'd like to take a minute to remind you, because it's very important. The mere fact that you're able to hear this, okay, creates tremendous blessings for you, including a child, including a dog, okay, who doesn't understand what we're talking about, okay, or even they're sleeping or they're not paying attention, but if they can hear it, okay. So when you bring the kids to the temple, make sure that, you know, they don't listen to music. At least they should listen. Okay. You can read, but don't let them listen to music. Okay. You can play video games and make noises, but as long as the Dharma reaches their ears, okay, just like tonight, for example, and they heard about these vows, these 10 practices. They are the core of Mahayana practices. Okay, all the Bodhisattvas become Bodhisattva because that's how quickly. It's because it depends how well they execute these 10 vows, these 10 practices. Number 1, worship and respect all Buddhas. Okay. You worship and respect all Buddhas. That's simple. Okay? Costs you nothing. Number 2, praise the scum ones. Okay? You praise the Buddhas. All right? So that's why, for example, in the Pure Land Dharma door, we praise Amitabha Buddha before we recite his name. Okay? So notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the higher priorities. Number 1 is highest priority, generates the highest amount of blessings. It is that in the Lotus Sutra. Okay, let's take about 1, worship and respect all Buddhas. You don't have to be Buddhist. You walk by, you see a Buddha image right there. Any kind of Buddha image. And you say, and you go, you acknowledge it. That's it. You will become a Buddha. So, poor Daniel. He keeps on telling us he wants to go to join his gods. Not such hopes. Don't tell him, okay? He's not here, so. Okay? It's fantastic. Just the mere fact that you show respect, say, okay, I acknowledge you a Buddha, which represents goodness, whatever it is, okay? I don't know who you are, whatever it is, but, okay, at least I respect you for what you stand for. That is enough for Daniel to become a Buddha. Look at that, everyone is applauding back in Blue Mountain Temple, except for Daniel. Oh, is they applauding the kids? Yeah. Okay. And so when we chant, when you chant and you praise the Buddhas and so forth, okay, that generates a second highest level of blessings for you. Again, costs you nothing. This is very Mahayana. Hinayana, we We say, I hope that you give master a check, give a master more money. That's Hinayana. Okay, Mahayana, we say, we hope that you worship and respect all Buddhas or praise the thus come ones. And then if you have a little bit extra money, then number 3, offer it to the temple. You see that? In other words, the mere fact that we have a small altar here, okay, and the mere fact that you come and help open the doors for people to come in and bow to the Buddhas, okay, they generate tremendous amount of blessings themselves. And because you have a hand in facilitating that, okay, they have limitless blessings, so do you. You're rich. You're all so rich. Where's the money, you say? None your business. So greedy. Okay? So in other words, you want me to prove that you have a lot of blessings? No faith? I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Okay, so number 3 is the Mahayana practice of giving. Okay? Widely making offering. You give widely, not just the Buddhas, not just the Buddhists, but mainly master, and then whatever is left, small changes, charity, and so forth. But we want to make sure we share the wealth. 90% is good enough for us. Okay? Why do you make offerings? Okay, that's my interpretation. Okay, number 4. Repent, reform all karmic hindrance. This again is Mahayana wisdom. Whatever you want to do that's important, okay, you will have trouble getting there because you have hindrances, you have obstructions, because that's the nature of the beast. Okay? Doesn't matter what you do, you will be hindered. Okay? So that's why the Buddhists do repentance quite often. You too, go ahead.
平等清净asks, Master, according to number 1, worship and respect all Buddhas, does this mean all those people who respect and bow to John Paul II will become Buddha one day?
Will become what?
Will become a Buddha one day?
Will they become a Buddha one day? This is a trick question. Let me check the Google first. Okay? My gut feeling says yes, but I don't want to answer you. Okay? Yeah. Why do you have to bring up the Pope and this thing? We just have a good time among ourselves, Buddhists. Okay.平等清净. Blacklist him. 5, rejoice and follow in merit and virtue. Okay? Rejoice and follow. Okay? Meaning that when something good happens to a person you hate, don't be jealous. If it's Bindang Jingjing, he's blacklisted. You too, go ahead.
No, it's Alta-D. Alta-D asks, what's the difference between vow number 1 and number 2? They seem very similar.
No, they're not. Worship and respect is in your heart. Okay? Because your respect for the Buddha, okay? That's all you need. Okay? It comes out just like that. Okay? Number two is actually, you actually praise. You say, Buddha is fantastic. Buddha is world honored. Buddha is unsurpassing wisdom. Buddha is infinite goodness. Okay, so you're praising the Buddha, and that creates a lot of blessings. I don't quite understand why, but try and you find out for yourself. All right? Yeah. And number 6, request Dharma will be turned, meaning teach the Dharma to benefit living beings. Okay? Yeah. Not just any Dharma, the proper Dharma. If you request the proper Dharma, the Mahayana to be taught, okay? Like before we lecture tonight, we did a Dharma request right there. That's instituted by my late Chinese teacher. That's called Dharma request. Okay, Dharma will be turned. That means to speak Dharma. Okay, so that's number 6 in terms of blessings. Number 7, request the Buddhas remain in the world. Is because when the Buddhas are in the world, people accomplish Buddhahood or Bodhisattvahood or Pratikahood or arhatship a lot quicker than by themselves, and without Buddha, for sure. So for example, we missed the boat now. Chakmin the Buddha is gone. He's not coming back. So we have to wait for the next Buddha, Maitreya, to come to our world in around 16 million years, round numbers. Okay? Have to wait 16 million years. Okay? And when he appears in the world, becomes a Buddha, he will teach for 1 day, 1 night. And then kind of lazy. Okay? But think about it, folks. 1 day, 1 night is not the same as 1 day, 1 night we have today. Our lifespan is 62 years right now, 60 years right now. Average lifespan is 60 years. So 1 day, 1 night of 60 years. When Maitreya comes out in the world, I believe the lifespan is around 80,000 kalpas. Okay? So 1 day, 1 night is pretty long compared to right now. Okay? So it's pretty impressive. But still, 1 day, 1 night out of 80,000 great kalpas of a lifespan, meaning that you have 80,000 great kalpas up, you don't have the Buddhas to learn from. Okay? So it's pretty agonizing and very tough. Okay? So that's why we request the Buddha to remain in the world. Okay? I want you to go through this as planting seeds of wisdom in you. Okay? Number 8, follow the Buddha's teachings always. Buddhas teach us in order for us to use them, not to know about them. To follow is to observe them, to apply them in our daily lives. Okay? Number 9, constantly accord all living beings. Number 9 is that we don't fight with manic people. You see that? We put up with them. Okay? We don't complain. Say, oh my God, temple is so bad now. It was peaceful until he throws a tantrum. I wish. Okay? No. You accord with them. You want to throw tantrum? Throw! Okay? You want more fire? I give you more fire. Here, have some more sugar. Yell louder. Okay? And you still not happy? I give you Daniel's phone number. He's a professional. He can take it. Okay? So we are court of living beings. Okay? No matter how unreasonable they are, we still accord with them. Don't blame them, okay? Don't say you're unreasonable. No, whatever they want, we accord with them. Okay? Up to a certain point, if you ask me. But that's only because I'm an old Bodhisattva. Number 10, transfer all merit and virtue universally, meaning that whatever goodness you generate, okay, give it all the way. You don't keep anything yourself. Here, have my merit and virtue. Here's my blessings. Okay? You want to go to Pure Land? Here, go to the Pure Land. But remember me though. You go to the Pure Land. Will you please? Huh? See you again. No Bodhisattva, okay? I'm trying. It's not as easy as it sounds. You give away your rebirth blessings? Are you crazy? Would you? I ask you. Don't look at me like that. Would you give away your rebirth blessings? Answer me. You. Would you give away your rebirth blessings to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, sir? See, that's a good man. I wouldn't. They're very hard to come by. What are you talking about? You're not suffering enough. Okay? So, all the merit, all the good things, all our blessings, we give them away. We're not keeping anything. It is the ultimate form of generosity. I don't want to keep anything good for myself, including my manic tantrums. Here, have some. All right? All right. And don't worry, this is so important because I want this to enter your ears. That's my purpose of doing this. Okay? But eventually, down the road, I promise you, if you're still around, I'm still alive, we go into great details of why it's such a profound teaching of Mahayana. You would not believe. It is so profound that for you to read this, it sounds like, oh, what's the big deal? Rejoice in others' merit and virtue. Rejoice, follow others. It has actually the whole universe of wisdom that will enable you to become a high-level bodhisattva, not just any form of enlightenment. We're talking about pretty impressive. Okay? If you understand this, I promise you, you surpass my master's disciples. Guarantee. But don't quote me. Okay? If you understand these 10 practices, okay? Because Master YongHua did not teach them. So my prize to help you learn about those details is a bigger temple. You wouldn't believe it. It's funny because when I first started, people said, you know, your master taught the Avatamsaka Sutra. I said, yeah. He said, why don't you? I say, yeah, I don't quite understand it yet, but I will. And the reason is because of this. I said, I will teach that sutra. I may not be able to understand everything, but I will teach the part where this is why the seeing generation rule generation will surpass his disciples. Wouldn't you like to know? Okay? So how about 35 acres? Santa Barbara. One of the two. You think I'm that cheap? Okay? So I promised myself, I said, there's no way we can explain this sutra at Lu Mountain Temple. What would people think? So I said, I need to have a bigger temple before I explain the Avatamsaka Sutra. And guess what happens? Wei Mountain Temple happened. So I said, I better prepare. So Wei Mountain is a trigger for me to explain the Avatamsaka Sutra. Now you know. Okay? We have no reason. We are not. There's no way that Wei Mountain Temple is supposed to belong to us. That's not possible. It's totally impossible. Okay? But somehow it happened, so I said, I know my promise. I will have to start teaching Mahayana stuff. Okay? However, I didn't say I would teach this. Okay? It is so cool. Let me tell you, this is if I just ignore everything and explain this to you, I deserve to get all the money, all the wealth, all the fortunes in this world. That's how important it is. Because with that knowledge, it's well worth it. All the money in this world. Trust me. All I ask for is 235 acres. It's a private joke. We were talking this afternoon. Okay, we were gabbing, and I said, "You think? And you're thinking too small." Okay. Any questions? Time is up. Yes.
So, Master, when you were saying the Lu generation has achieved 同体大悲, does that mean the layperson Lu generation? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The Dharma does not discriminate whether you're a lay person or you're a left home person. Okay, it turns out, for example, that some lay people are so good that they're better than left home people. It's just a fact. The difference is that we call you left home people versus lay people is because it's different ways of commitment. You're a lay person, I can push you so far because your commitment is to your family. You have all the commitments already, and we respect that. So the Dharma has to take that into consideration. Whoever the left for is a left home person is different. Okay? So the training for them is quite different from yours as lay people. Okay? And it's because of the genius of the Buddha, the left home people, okay, the training program they have is far more powerful than the program for lay people. That's the way it is. Because we have more options that we cannot use for you, lay people. Okay, you too.
Let Go asks, Master, what would you need to have in order to revive the Medicine Master Buddha Dharma?
Oh, that's something I said years ago. I changed my mind. Why do you keep on quoting things that, I said years ago? And I forgot already. What I think, if I remember now, is what I feel that when I said that, it's out of a little bit of frustration of the fact that the Medicine Master Buddha is so powerful, so beneficial. I've seen it in every single case, 100% of the times. I can't stress enough that. Okay, it is so beautiful, and yet it's disappearing because people don't understand it anymore. So that's why they can't take advantage of it. When we talk about reviving it, it's because it's simply to say that we want to make it available to people again, okay, so that they can take advantage of it. If the more people take advantage of it, the more revived it is. The Dharma is revived because it's useful to a lot more people. That's all. Okay, and I feel that the Mahayana disciples, especially Sanghas, monks and nuns, should not be afraid to use this Dharma to help their students, their supporters. It's very, very powerful. Okay? And it's such a powerful Dharma that will help people develop faith in Mahayana, because it's very simple. Faith must be reinforced. What's better reinforcement than to see the results of these powerful dharmas? Okay? And in order for that to happen, in order for you to see results, produce results, it only happens because of purity of heart. You're not using this in order to benefit yourself, in order to get rich, in order to become famous. That's what I learned from Master YongHua. The reason, in other words, the reason the Medicine Master Buddha Dharma has weakened, has lost its luster, its appeal, its effectiveness, is because the people who use them in those temples are actually trying to make money of it, are trying to help themselves, instead of trying to help living beings. That's the difference. If you, as a Sangha, and you use it because, my father came to the temple and used his Dharma here, and therefore my time, okay, I use it because by tradition, okay, then you are missing out on the Dharma itself. Okay, the monks then take advantage of it as a tradition instead of helping you use it to benefit themselves. Okay, and I feel that it's possible. I feel that Medicine Master Buddha is such a powerful Dharma door that's very useful, especially in our Dharmic ending age. We need it. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you very much. See you next time. Next time, 2:36. I think we should do rebirth transference. Is it what we do? Huh? What happened is that we decided to continue to do the rebirth and the Medicine Master Buddha thing. It's because before I followed my master tradition where during the cheese we shut down everything, nothing, we don't work anymore, we cultivate. And over the years, after 15 years, I realized it's hopeless because I'm not going to get enlightened. So I might as well do it. Okay? So that's the rationale for this. But if you're pure, you don't have to do this. So I'm asking you tonight, take your pick. Are you pure? Are you impure like me? If you're impure, you're pure, I would do it silently myself. If you're impure like me, then we do it. We make a show, and I say, you see, I'm doing this for you. Okay? What do you want? I see it, purity. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, see ya.